Welcome to Farming Aid.
In 2026, the way people think about meat is changing fast. For decades, beef ruled the plate, the grill, and the grocery store without much competition. But today, something different is happening. Consumers are asking harder questions about where their food comes from, how it's raised, and what it does for their health and the planet. That curiosity is pushing people to look beyond traditional beef and even beyond familiar alternatives like Beefalo. A whole new category of red meats is stepping into the spotlight, and they're not just trends for foodies anymore. They're becoming everyday choices for families, athletes, chefs, and smart farmers. In this video, we're going beyond Beefalo to explore why three powerful alternative meats are exploding in popularity in 2026. These aren't lab foods or fake burgers. These are real animals, raised on real land, producing rich, satisfying meat with better nutrition profiles and stronger sustainability stories. They thrive where conventional cattle struggle, and they're winning over taste buds across the country. If you care about health, flavor, farming, or just staying ahead of the next big food shift, you're in the right place. Let's dive into why these three alternative meats are changing the future of what ends up on your plate. American bison is the easiest to understand emotionally and historically, which is a big reason why it is boomed again in 2026. Bison is not new. It is one of the oldest large grazing animals in North America, and its relationship with grassland ecosystems is deep. What is new is how consumers view it. For a long time, bison was treated as a specialty novelty food, something you might order once in a while on vacation in the West. Now it is showing up in meal prep plans, health influencer recipes, butcher counters, and farm-to-table restaurant menus across the country. People are actively seeking out bison burgers, bison steaks, and bison jerky not as tourist treats, but as weekly protein choices. Why the shift? A lot of it comes down to the combination of nutritional profile and environmental perception. Bison meat is typically very lean, packed with protein, iron, and B vitamins, and lower in total fat compared to conventional grain-finished beef. Athletes and fitness-focused buyers appreciate that. At the same time, bison production is frequently associated with grass-based systems that support prairie restoration and wildlife corridors. Even consumers who don't analyze the science like the idea of eating something that feels closer to the land. The animal itself also carries symbolic weight, resilient, powerful, and native to the continent. That emotional connection matters in 2026 when food choices are as much identity statements as they are nutritional decisions. Farmers and ranchers are also helping drive the bison trend. Bison are tough animals that handle cold, wind, and variable pasture conditions well. They don't always fit industrial confinement systems, which actually adds to their appeal. Many producers choosing bison are small to medium-scale operations focusing on direct-to-consumer sales, on-farm processing, and local branding. That business model pairs perfectly with modern consumers who enjoy buying from farmers markets or through subscription meat boxes. Bison therefore rides two waves at once, the alternative meat wave and the local food wave. As a result, in 2026 it has become one of the most visible competitors to traditional beef without trying to copy it exactly. Another meat that has surged in conversation this year is yak, and for many people this one really does feel beyond Beefalo. Yak are long-haired bovines native to Himalayan regions, adapted to high altitude, cold temperatures, and sparse forage. For a long time they were viewed mainly as pack animals or wool producers in their traditional homelands, but in recent years they have become attractive livestock in North America. They tolerate cold very well and perform on rough pastures that would challenge some cattle breeds. That gives small farmers in mountainous or marginal regions a viable red meat option. Second, They are efficient grazers and can integrate into rotational grazing systems aimed at soil improvement and carbon sequestration. Producers who want to tell a regenerative story find yak align with their message. Third, there is the culinary angle. Chefs enjoy working with yak because it offers a unique flavor that feels familiar yet distinct. High-end restaurants, food trucks, and specialty butchers in 2026 are using yak for gourmet burgers, steaks, stir-fry strips, and fusion dishes that blend Himalayan inspiration with modern cuisine. People like to say they have tried something different, and yak provides that conversation starter without pushing diners too far outside their comfort zone. Once someone tastes it, the conversation usually shifts from novelty to quality. That is exactly how long-term demand gets built. Yak also appeal to families looking for healthier everyday meals. Lean red meat that still delivers iron and complete protein is attractive to parents who want to cut back on highly processed foods but keep traditional dinner patterns. Because yak is less industrialized than beef, there is a perception of naturalness that builds trust. Whether or not consumers dig into production details, that perception plays a real role in purchasing decisions. Add in social media exposure, where short videos of shaggy yak grazing snowy hillsides get millions of views, and you have a trend that is cultural as much as agricultural. The third meat shaping the Beyond Beefalo conversation in 2026 is water buffalo. This animal has fed people across Asia, Africa, and parts of Europe for centuries, both through meat and dairy. What is changing today is how strongly water buffalo is entering mainstream Western markets. Many people already know water buffalo through mozzarella made from buffalo milk, but they are now discovering the meat itself. Water buffalo meat is darker than beef, naturally lean, and full-flavored without being gamey. Slow-cooked cuts can be incredibly tender, and leaner steaks appeal to those looking for rich taste without heavy marbling. Water buffalo succeeds in the modern marketplace because it combines practicality with story. These animals are excellent converters of rough forage and can thrive in wet or marginal lands where cattle sometimes struggle. In tropical and subtropical climates, they are more heat-tolerant than many traditional beef breeds, which is an important advantage in a warming world. For farmers, they offer flexibility, meat, milk, draft power, or mixed systems depending on local needs. That resilience makes water buffalo relevant not just to foodies, but to the broader conversation about climate-smart agriculture. From the consumer side, water buffalo captures interest because it feels both exotic and approachable. People might first encounter it in curry, stew, or barbecue dishes in multicultural restaurants, then actively seek it out from local producers. Immigrant communities have also helped normalize water buffalo as an everyday protein rather than a specialty item. In 2026, food culture is global through social media and travel, so regional meats spread fast. Once people discover that water buffalo is leaner than many beef cuts yet still satisfying, it enters rotation as a regular choice. Health awareness is a common thread running through all these meats. Whether someone reaches for beefalo, American bison, yak, or water buffalo, they are often thinking about saturated fat, iron levels, omega-3s from grass-based production, or general, clean eating. Alternative meats benefit from the fact that they are typically marketed as minimally processed and closely connected to pasture systems. That image sets them apart from highly processed plant-based burgers that once dominated alternative protein headlines. In 2026, the meaning of alternative meat has shifted. Instead of lab or factory connotations, it now often refers to heritage animals, natural grazing, and direct relationships between producers and buyers. There is also a strong economic story in this trend. Small and mid-scale farmers face real pressures from volatility in feed prices, land costs, and commodity markets. Raising conventional beef in the same way as large commercial operations can be difficult without their economies of scale. Animals like bison, yak, and water buffalo open another door. They can occupy niche markets with higher per-pound value, branded identity, and loyal customers who care about more than just the cheapest price. Instead of competing head-to-head with supermarket beef from giant supply chains, alternative meat producers often compete on story, connection, and quality. That is a smart business match for social media marketing, farm tours, subscription boxes, and restaurant partnerships. Taste remains the deciding factor, and that is why these trends are durable rather than just social media buzz. If the flavor did not deliver, interest would fade. Instead, people are coming back for repeat purchases. Bison offers deep, slightly sweet red meat flavor. Yak provides clean, tender cuts with minimal greasiness. Water buffalo delivers robust richness perfect for slow cooking and bold spices. Even beefalo, the starting point for this whole conversation, brings a familiar beefy taste with healthier numbers on paper. When nutrition, ethics, and environment line up with taste, a trend turns into a movement. Of course, challenges exist. Supply remains smaller for these meats than for beef, which means prices can be higher and availability inconsistent. Some consumers are still hesitant because they are unfamiliar with the names or don't know how to cook the cuts. Education is key, and 2026 has seen a wave of recipe content, cooking tutorials, and farm-to-table storytelling that lowers those barriers. Once someone learns that bison cooks a bit faster due to low fat, or that yak benefits from gentle heat, confidence grows. Retailers and processors also continue refining labeling, packaging, and distribution so these meats move from occasional specialty items into more regular shelf presence. So when you look at what's happening in 2026, it's clear this isn't just a food trend. It's a shift in mindset. Going beyond beefalo means people are no longer locked into one idea of what red meat has to be. They're exploring bison, yak, water buffalo, and other powerful alternatives because they want meat that's healthier, more sustainable, and connected to real land and real farmers. These animals aren't replacing beef. They're expanding the menu and giving both consumers and producers better options. The future of meat isn't about extremes. It's about smarter choices. It's about flavor that still feels honest, nutrition that supports your body, and farming systems that actually work with nature instead of against it. These three alternative meats are trending because they check all those boxes at once. And as more people taste them, cook with them, and learn their stories, this movement is only going to grow. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more content on food, farming, and the future of what we eat, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Tell me which alternative meat you'd try first and why. Your next favorite protein might be one you've never even heard of before.